Yeah, welcome back to the Career Build Series. This is episode 110, and as usual, we have a helicopter coming down while I am starting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my volumes here to, we'll just set the sounds down. I'll turn that back up later. So in this one, this is going to be a train actually going and doing something mission. And so I've done a bunch of work on my train equipment off screen. I will go into that at some point in some detail what I've done. The train, I could spend 100 episodes on the train. Um, and so kind of made that executive decision that I'm going to try not to do that and try to be a little bit more reasonable and kind of do some work off screen, and then I'll kind of just keep you updated on what I'm doing. So I want to do a mission. I want to go make some money. It looks like we have reasonable money. We don't. I want to get into. I really want to start at some point bringing in the home ship, and the home ship requires me to be able to. Home ship requires me. I just had to fix this. Let me fix this here. Let me make sure these are all zeroed out. There's one, I think. Yeah, I put coal in one for a test, and I forgot to take the coal out. So let me save that. There. Okay. So, I want to get the home ship in. That requires hundreds of thousands in cash, and a bunch of the stuff I want to do requires a lot of money to get in some of my new vehicles and equipment. And so, I thought we could kind of do a little bit of a cool money maker here. I'm just going to push this just to save time. That's hooked. All right, let's. I'm gonna move up just a hair, and I'll show you the latest train car I made. Again, made this off screen. It's called a well car. When I go down to the rail to bring containers down there, which mercifully is rare, they often have these well cars, and the well cars have an indentation where the containers can sit, so they can, since they're 53-foot containers. IRL, they double stack them. This one, because we have the shorty containers, I can put 4 on here. So as you can see, this is the well in here, and then you can put 4 containers in here. So I really want to get up the Arctic. I added a heater to the, this one's already a little bit more advanced. I have a brake release on here. This auto holds the brakes, so you could theoretically leave this on a hill. I've changed up the way I'm doing the connectors. They're now struts with pistons to kind of dampen them instead of having a more complex system that would need a battery. So let's pull the loco forward here. So the plan is we should be able to make some reasonably buku bucks with coal trading up to the Arctic. I also want to bring some containers. And so let me get this going. So it takes me a little while to get my steam piston system going. So I'm going to start running that up. I don't want to come back and have this be out of electricity. So we have the loco. We have the coal car, which holds 3,000 something, I think. And then we have the well car. So this is designed off the well cars I see IRL. Some of the markings are the same. They're usually DTTX. I just made a different letter. And then we have alignment indicators. 125, I assume, is 125 ton capacity, or the mass of the car. I'm not sure. So this is what we're going to send up. So this should be, I think that's 3,000. Let me do the quick math here, or maths, if that's how you like to hear it. 150 is the coal buy price. And then the coal sell is up here at terminal trinite. That's 36.69. So let's do a little bits of math here. 36.69 minus 150. That is 35.19 per unit. And we have 3,000 units on board. We're talking that's 105,570. So, in the neighborhood of $106,000 profit to run coal up to Trinite. I believe it's here. We have BVG is here. And so we could also run up to BVG and bring up to 4 containers. So the plan is to load coal, load containers, and then hopefully we'll be there. So it's going to be a little bit of an endeavor. So I'm going to load up my kind of junky mining truck again. Work on this some more at some point. It's electric at the moment. And get going on this. And so go start filling this with coal. I'm going to do some flying around, or else this is going to be a 9-hour long video. Need to kind of expedite. Once that helicopter is gone, I'll turn the sounds back on. I'll let me do them now. Yeah, I hate that how loud the turbine is on some of these helicopters when they come down. It's just like, you have to turn the sound way down to be able to hear. So I have to be careful with this. This has a little bit of a tipping hazard. There he goes. He's going, so I can turn this back up now. Hopefully he goes away. I'm going to leave that. It gets windy in the mountains, so I don't want too much environmental sounds, so that we're not deafened by it. So let's go up, and I'm going to do a bunch of flying around. This is going to take a while. I have to... it's 15 large coal hoppers on that car on the train. This has 5, so it's going to take 3 trips to get this loaded. I don't think I'm going to have 4 containers for BVG. I might. So I'm going to use the container shifter to load up the containers. If I can get 4, great. They're usually around 30 grand a pop. Between 25 and 30,000 per container. So you're talking, theoretically, we could do, let's say they're 20. You're talking 80 grand in containers. So we're talking about 200,000. In the neighborhood of 200,000 is where we're probably going to be for profit. It's not the most profitable thing we could do, but I could add more cars. Currently, I'm not adding too many cars because it's still kind of in the testing phase. Okay, so that is there. Let me just double check, make sure that's over. Make sure I'm not spilling any when I turn this on. Alright, so this is pretty cheap, so if we end up spilling some, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to quickly check it. Yep, okay, we're filling. We should be able to, I'm going to fly again, we should be able to keep loading while I do something else. So if we look at our map, you'll see our money is continuing to go down. That means we're still buying. So we're still buying our coal, so that's good. Let me bring in the container shifter. Alright, so this took, as you can imagine, this takes a little bit of, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to have enough vehicles that I can just go do what I want to do. This allows me to just go right out and start doing some stuff, So this is the container shifter. It's on the workshop. I'll try to remember if I can to link all this stuff. If I hit that train, it's probably going to activate the brakes. It auto maintains the speed that I have set, which is 0. So it's going to try to do brakes if I bump it. So I was going to try to push it out of the way, but probably will not like that. So let me back it up and so grab see how many containers are down there for BVG. If I can get 4, I will get 4. If I can't, I will grab as many as I can get. I'm not going to do a stop at, I thought about stopping at Komodo and grabbing enough to fill it, but worst case is I get too much weight on there and the train bogs down and I can't complete the mission. So I'd rather kind of be a little bit conservative on what I'm doing here and making sure that we can get through the mission pretty reliably. Why there are very few containers here? That's troubling. Usually it's packed with containers. I don't know why. May not have spawned them all in. So I need to find some BVGs. They better have some BVGs here. I'm going to be annoyed. Let's look. So let's find a BVG. That's Sawyer South. Sawyer North. Please be BVGs. That's only 12,000, but we're going up there anyways, so we might as well bring it. Better be another BVG. I'm going to be really annoyed. for some reason there are very few containers. I don't know why we have so few containers. Okay. They really tanked the price on these, but we'll go anyways. There's 2, so we can grab 2. Yeah, they must have done something with containers, because normally they're a bunch, and they were like 30 grand. They're down to 12,000, which is a little bit thin. You know, if you look at, I guess that, yeah, it looks like they tanked the price on a lot of these containers. Whatever. We'll take the 2 that we have. Wow, I've already forgot which ones they are. I gotta pay attention here and get the right ones. So, Sawyer North. This should be it here. BVG is the acres, green acres, and then we should have this one here is also BVG. Okay, good. So let's grab these 2. Let's load them in the well car, and then let's check my map. Okay, we're still losing money. Let me make sure that's not full. There's gonna be a lot of flying around here. Okay, this is not full yet. Just kind of trying to time it. Okay. So I'll go ahead and go back here. Over here. I'm in the wrong spot. Alright, and so let's grab these containers and get moving. I'm just gonna, since it's gonna take us a little while to get the, I'm not gonna double stack them right now just because it's gonna take us a little while to get that coal filled up. And it's gonna take us 3 trips on that. So I'm going to just go ahead and, thanks lightning. I'm gonna go ahead and load them one at a time on the train, and that will save me a little bit of time here. Alright, so let's back it up, and we will go ahead and get up there. Where are my lights? There we go. Alright, so it's nice to have, you know, it took me a little while to get my train equipment up and running. You know, like I said, I cut down a bunch of videos just because it was going to be, you know, it would have been 15 videos probably to get to this point where cutting them down a little bit makes it a little bit more reasonable. I don't like to, you know, don't want to have, you know, 3 weeks of content all be the same thing. I kind of want to diversify a little bit. And so, you know, we could be on this train forever. So, but it's in our toolbox now. Whenever I feel like doing a train thing, I can do it. So, if we look at the alignment indicators, I have 2 brackets. That tells me the end of the containers, and then the center white line is the center point of the container. So, if I line that up, which I just screwed up, I'm going to try to line that up. That's me driving over the tracks. Kind of screw me up. I'm going to put that center point in the center post. That should get me reasonably lined up, so we're close. And then that way we can line it up. So again, why I like a manual transmission is it really helps you modulate your speed. I'm going to turn down environmental sounds here. There we go. Okay, and so by obscuring that center indicator, or that center alignment paint, I can kind of line up where my container's going more readily, and it will help me to get this in the well. So I'm a little bit too far left. I'm a little bit too close. So let me back it up. See if I can force it in a little bit. Okay. So once I get a little bit closer like that, you'll see I can see a little bit better. So like I was saying, reason you like a manual transmission is it really helps you modulate your speed, like right there by putting in first and tapping it. You know, everybody wants an automatic transmission because I don't know why, because they probably don't have any experience in real life with it. But you know, it is easier to a certain extent, but you can't modulate your speed as well. You can't, you know, and that causes problems. So it's better to have a manual. And okay, I have to. I forgot to turn on the container, so that's fine. Let me click the container on. Okay, so now when I lower it down, it will snap. Having a manual transmission allows you to modulate your speed. All right, and we just had some damage there, and so let me... Frustration. I had to make a little cut there because there was yelling. Let me grab a torch and fix it. It's welder instead of torch. Welder, welding torch. I guess it didn't search torch, so when I looked up torch. So let me do a little repair in here. Always have something in my inventory when I don't need it. So I'm going to repair this. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. It hasn't been doing that, so I don't know why it decided to do it this time. Should just drop the container in there. Okay, let me see if I can drop the container, and then I'll do all the repairs. It's kind of annoying that it did that. It has not been doing that. As usual, I did a bunch of testing, and it was fine, but this time it decided that that was something it wanted to do, was cause me problems. So okay, so the yelling was kind of unfounded. I didn't need to yell. That will be cut out. Okay, so that's all repaired. It was just a little bit of a damage that was annoying. Okay, so let's get in there. We're most likely going to need this torch again with the way things are going. It's alright, I haven't tried to do this video 3 times with multiple interruptions, but so Green Acres, we are still, let me check real quick, we still losing money? We are. We're going to continue to lose money regardless, even if that's full. The coal is very cheap. If we were to accidentally spill a bunch on the ground, it's not the end of the world. It's not really costing me all that much money, but it takes a while to fill that sucker up. So what I'm going to do is I will get down here and then fly up. Again, you know, if you like, you know, I enabled the fast travel in this. I enabled the ability for me to fly. It's your career game. Go in the XML and edit it how you would like to play. You know, I personally like first person. If you need third person, put it in there. You know, at the end of the day, you want to have fun playing the game, and so add the features you need. So for me, if I had to physically either bring a car or do something to get up and down this mountain constantly while we're doing this mission, it would be quite obnoxious. Yep, we're wasting there. All right, get down there, guys, so you don't... Okay, so we wasted a little bit of money there, but not the end of the world, so let's get this moving. I have to keep an eye on the electricity here on this. I also need to be careful because it articulates. The game doesn't like articulation, so I'll probably at some point go back to a tractor trailer. Or just take out the articulation feature because this is too much of a roll risk, I think, with the current way it's set up. But I'll see. You know, do some more testing. I don't have any headlights on this or what. Again, another feature that I'm going to try not to drive like a crazy person too. Another thing I'm going to do here that I added when you add this custom menu, you can do that with the XML, is I can change the time and weather. So I'm going to just change the weather to get rid of the wind and the rain. And then once we actually get going, I'll take that off. That's just so that we're not having to listen to lightning and rain and everything else. So before I head back, I should have plenty of time. I need to be careful driving while I open that menu because it will keep me going. Okay. I'm just going to make it sunny so we can see. You know, I've had some of my videos been too dark just because I keep the time of day that it is set at, and it makes it tough to watch. So, you know, another reason why I kind of put on that custom menu is I can, if the rain's being too annoying or the lightning's being obnoxious or it's too dark, I can just, you know, turn to daytime. And so we want to be really careful here. This can be tippy, you know. All right, so I'm going to get this loading or unloading. As this is unloading, that will take a little time. Go ahead and I will load the next container. And then you know, I'll probably accelerate time because, you know, we're not going to have anything to really do. Well, this is there's one thing we could do. It's a little bit of a, yeah, might do that while we wait. All right, so I can go up now because, be careful I don't hit that too hard. The funnel is now controlled by a button. It's not controlled by the tip. And so as you can see, we have the high tip here. It's loading in. Let me double check it, make sure it's loading. It is. Okay, so that we can leave because that's going to have enough capacity. Snap a quick pic here. And so that's going to load up. We're getting to the point here where we're kind of running well. All right, so that's loading. I'm going to go back over here to my container shifter. So you can see how flying really makes it much easier to kind of take out the monotony of some of this. You know, take out some of the monotony of actually just going back and forth to vehicles. You know, it's just making it a lot quicker for me to do the work here. Headlights can come off. Alright, and so we'll load this Green Acres. That's all I have for BVG. You know what I think I'm going to do? We're already at 21 minutes. This is going to be a long video, as it is, because we're currently, you know, we're going to have to load up 3 of those mining trucks to fill the 1 coal car. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to make the Arctic this trip, I'm going to go to Komodo. When I go to Komodo, so I'm going to have 2 containers on for BVG. I'm going to go to Komodo and we'll pick up 2 more containers for BVG. That will give us a full 4 containers for BVG. That will keep this video a reasonable length. And then, so the next video I'll start at Komodo with, we'll see where we are time-wise. If we have a little bit of time on this video, I will go ahead and, load the containers on here. And then the next video will actually head up to the Arctic. So that will just be a transpo video of us getting up to the Arctic. And then, you know, I can, you know, head on up there. We'll do a bunch of time lapse on the trip up there. It shouldn't take a crazy amount of time. Let me just do a couple things to try to proactively prevent massive glitches and crying on my part here. Shut that off in the event that this tries to grab. We need to turn this on, and then that should set us up so that hopefully we're not having a disaster. So actually what I think I'm going to do is when I get to Komodo, I'm not going to load the next 2 containers, and the reason is out of fear that there's some sort of issue with them reattaching. I don't want them to have a reattachment issue where if they're 4 stacked and I load in the save, it might act the fool. So I don't want it to do that. So this time, to prevent a little bit of breakage here, what I'm going to try to do is, let me see if I can rock this into place. I have a little bit of play with this, so, oh, you bad words. Okay. So it's this nub here is hitting, and the reason why this is having a problem is I tested this without this lip here. So all I have to do is get rid of this wedge, and that will stop breaking. So that's fine. I was wondering why it was different than when I tested it. That's it. It's definitely it. Was this lip here was not here before, and so what's happened is this pulls this down, and this is hitting this block. That's causing the damage. So I will change that. You know, and make that work better. Okay, so this is now done. That's still unloading. So yeah, definitely this is going to take too long to do, go up to the Arctic this trip. So yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll go to Komodo, and we'll grab 2 more containers for BVG. You know, right now that you know, because it looks like they nerfed the profit on BVG containers, which I'm actually don't have a problem with. you know, a lot of people are pretty much using helicopters for everything because, you know, it's quote unquote the most profitable. Well, you know, you could take a 30,000 credit container up to the Arctic in a helicopter in short time, in 15 minutes. Now that makes it a little bit more realistic, I think, where in order to do something like a helicopter, that's block. Let me check this block, get rid of it before I end up with a catastrophe here. Okay. Okay, there we go. I just didn't want this. I didn't want to have two in the in here and then have a problem. Okay, so you know, when these were at 30, you could fly a helicopter from here up to the Arctic and make profit. That is uber unrealistic, and you know, I think it would be cool if they had a scaling function where you could say, okay, profit is set to 1, okay, or profit set to 100%. And so you could drag profit down to 0, or you could drag profit up to 200%. And so profit so it would be a simple multiplier. So let's say you have this container, right? It's 12,000. That's at 100% profit, okay? Let's say in the options for the game you could drag it up to 200%. Well, that would make it 24,000. If you dragged it down to 50% or 0.5, that would make 6,000 profit. This way it would allow you to align the game to your own desired profitability. I think that would be a good thing for the devs to add. That way if people are struggling and they say, oh, you know, containers aren't worth my time, they don't make enough money. Okay, well you could increase profitability. It would be cool if you could even do it for individual things. So let's say rescue missions. Let's say you're like, you know what, rescue mission, I want to use a bigger boat. They don't make enough money. I can't make a profit if I use a bigger boat. For example, if I try to go put out a fire with the Daemon 2111, I burn too much fuel. I can't make a profit. Well, you could set rescues to 150% profit. Containers, you say, oh, you know, containers are easy money. I'm dragging up 100 of them with a train. I'll make those, you know, 0.6, you know, so that would be a cool thing for the devs to add. So I'll actually put that in the utility instead of just complaining online, and actually try to, you know, improve the game by adding a thing. But so I'm liking this well car. It looks very realistic to, you know, in my opinion, to the cars I see IRL. The markings are really cool. The yellow actually continues up here on the real cars. The real cars are actually kind of neat how they're connected. So the real cars hold 53-foot long containers, and then they don't actually have this lip over the wheels. The wheel assembly is actually in the middle of two cars. So two cars are permanently attached. So it goes car, then a wheel assembly, car. So it's actually between two cars, there's 3 wheel assemblies. So that's kind of neat. Okay, so this just ended. So this is empty. Let's grab this. Let's hit the 6 key. Let's go forwards a little bit. I need to check the electricity on this to make sure that I'm not running too low. All right. All right, so we have... Do I have infinite electricity on? Okay, I do. I did not intend to have infinite electricity on, but I'm going to go with it. Again, you know, it might be considered cheating, but... you know, it's... Let's take it off. If I run out of electricity, I can turn it back on to get back. So that's another reason why I like having that menu on there, especially for me making videos. It's super tough. You know, if I spent, you know, this video has been going for 30 minutes. This is the 3rd time I've tried making this video because of, you know, just IRL stuff going on and stuff in game going on. You know, spawning the coal car full of coal, stuff like that. You know, by having that menu on, I can easily, like, if I got stranded up there, instead of having to go get something to rescue it and do all this and kind of ruining the video and making it tough, I can just turn on infinite electricity, get through it, and say, you know what, I need to be more careful next time. So I could shut damage off. You know, now that I know that breaks, until I fix it, I can turn damage off. You know, I tried doing a mission. I think it was the one we went to Komodo with the coal car for testing, and I literally tried it like 5 times, and I kept taking the Mac Pinnacle and the the high tip 45 up the mountain and down the mountain, and inevitably somewhere I'd hit some section of road that would just destroy my tractor. And it was like a comedy of errors. I'm going to release it at some point as a WTF video, but it was a mess because it was constantly things were breaking, and it was just miserable, and I couldn't get anything done. And so having that menu on and the ability for me to just kind of like, if I need to quote unquote cheat, do it. Also, I think we all acknowledge there are bugs in this game or any game, and sometimes having a little bit of these tools allow us to get around some of that stuff and keep the game enjoyable. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up for time lapse. I'll just accelerate the time on this because I really have nothing to do. One thing I would love to be able to do, but you can't, is I did this before where I tried going to the workbench and actually just working on something, which that would be ideal. If I could go on the workbench and have this still load coal, that would be awesome. But I can't because it stops me from loading coal if I'm in the workbench. That would be awesome because I'd be able to work on a build while that's going, but I can't do that. So I'm gonna do the smart thing here. I'm gonna just save, and so that's saved, and then so I can come back if I need to. And so this will set me up. So the plan, again, I need to run 2 more times. So I need to come down here twice to fill that. It's not the end of the world. What I'm actually going to do is save some time. I think I'll launch a second mining car and bring it up there. So when one is unloading, the other one's filling. I think that's a smart idea. I'm going to create a new system, I think. I want to do side tips. I like a side tip. I'll kind of show you that too. That'll be a little bit of a distraction. We'll head over to Komodo. We will grab 2 more BVGs at Komodo. Now, I want to get this train set up where I can carry a lot more cars. I'd like to carry 3 coal cars, maybe 3 container cars, or as many containers as I can. I just put in the anti-slip system. It hasn't really had a full test. So that's something I have to be careful of. I don't want to get this bogged down so that it can't move, and so I put a ton of work in where I can't, move fast enough. So I want to take it slow and make sure this works. This is literally the only train driving I've done in game at all is for back and forth from here to here. So getting up here is going to be interesting. Once I can get through this track switcher here, I'm good, I think, because we'll get going up here. And then I don't know where the track defaults to. I don't know which way it's going to break me here, but either, I don't want to go up here. What is that? That is oil. It could be interesting at some point to buy oil on the train, and instead of taking a ship all the way up there, I could buy oil there and then transfer it. It's going to take large winches to do that, but that would be an interesting little bit of gameplay. But we'll go up, we'll go to try and dump the coal, and then I hope I don't have to buy this island to get that coal dumped. I don't think I do, but I'm not sure. I don't think I do. No, because I don't have to buy it to do diesel gantries and whatnot. Come up to BVG, and we'll dump off our containers, and we'll grab new containers. I won't promise that. If I get up here and I'm sick of trains by this point, I'll recall it from the bench, fast travel somewhere else, and we'll do some different missions. We're not super equipped to hang in the Arctic for long. I did put in a cold weather suit, and I have a heater in the train, so we shouldn't die. But I don't want to spend too much time up there until I'm really kind of set up for it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and launch a second one of these mining cars. And so this is going to make it so that I'm all set so that as soon as that one fills, I can put this one underneath. And then this one will be filling while I'm unloading here. So I wish I did that before. So again, a nice little thing to learn just to be a little bit more productive. Yeah, that will be a little bit more productive, so that I have one filling while the other one is unloading, because they take a little bit of time. And then I'll kind of show you some theory crafting on what I want to build. I need to build a mining tractor, and what I mean by tractor is essentially a semi-truck. They're called tractors. You know, tractor trailer. The tractor is the truck part. The trailer trails the tractor. And so I might be able to do it with the Mac R. The Mac R is short enough to go through the tunnel. I've kind of concluded that going up and over the mountain, I'm going to have to shut off damage, which again, I think with the special menu, yeah, I could shut off vehicle damage. You know, like I said, I went through 3 videos of me just slamming into invisible things. It was getting a little old, and so, you know, the Mac Pinnacle is not really built to be an off-road truck. I purposefully built it to be an on-road truck because the Pinnacle is designed as the on-road truck. The Granite is more of an off-road truck. The R is an off-road truck. They were designed to be dump trucks. So you'll see they have things like higher bumpers, higher ground clearance, and that's so that you go off on a construction site and not bottom out. You know, they also had camelback suspension, which, you know, would absolutely destroy your spine and make you look like you had a camelback, or what I would call a knee-to-back suspension. I've never used them, but camelback is essentially insane springs that just put every jolt into your spine. As somebody who's had a bad back injury, that's no bueno. So let me, you know, kill a little time here, and I'll bring up, I'll kind of show you some of the things I'm talking about, because my passion is machines. So, you know, I'll kind of look at some stuff. There we go. Okay, so let me bring up the display, and so this is camelback suspension. I wish I could just let me open the image in a new tab here. All right, so this is camelback suspension. So camelback suspension is really good for, like, say, a dump truck going off into a construction site to dump, but it's massively brutal on your back. It's very low maintenance for the truck, but very high maintenance on your body because you're going to be in the hospital all the time. So it's actually really pretty cool. So it allows the wheels to articulate forward and back. And if you look at these leaf springs, they're insane. Look at these leaf springs. That's all steel. They're just U-bolted steel to the axles. And then you have a pivot point here, which I think is a greasable or a no-service grease fitting. And so essentially this wheel can go down into a hole and this one will come up. And so that keeps your wheels on the ground the whole time, giving you consistent traction. It's a really good system for off-road applications, but you see these leaf springs, they're insane. So you can hold a ton of weight on these, but every jolt is going to go right up in your spine. So let me see if I can find... Okay, so this is a Mac Twin Y suspension. So this is more what you'd want if you want a functional spine in your body. So you notice it makes a Y, and then you have airbags, and so this allows you to have a more comfortable ride because the bags kind of take some of that. The bags are much better for not beating the ever-loving snot out of you. So that's something. So let me find some side tip agricultural trailers. Let me do silage trailer. I think that will be better. So I want to keep working on some trailers here. I want to refine this down. It's going to take me too long. Like you see, I have to do 3 trips just to get the. I have to do 3 trips to get that loaded. If I can get, it's too big to do 15. So I was thinking something like this is a side tip trailer. So this tips sideways. You know, as you saw with what I did with the coal car, I made it shorter. That makes it a lot easier to tip into. Like this type of side tip wouldn't, I think it's high tip. Let me do high tip silage trailer. There we go. So kind of theory craft a little bit of what I want to work on here. Trying to find a picture. So this is a high tip. This is kind of the system we have here. It unloads from the back. I want a side tipper. Like here, this is it. So this is for farming sim, this oxbow. As you can see, it slides up, so that'll be on sliders. And then there'll be a piston here that will tip it. And so what I can do is I can set up a train of these, and so maybe that'll let me kind of increase the number of cars, and then I'll put like multiple funnels so that hopefully get it to unload in a more reasonable amount of time. So something like this is what I'm thinking design-wise. And I'll pull up to the side of the trailer, side of the coal train car, and unload. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I kind of want to make a bunch of vehicles, and then we can see which one works best and see which one I feel like using at the time. All right, so the game is starting to have too much. Oh, that's full. Okay, let me stop this. Killing time so well that I'm wasting money. Okay. So be careful coming out of here. I don't want to over tip here like that. See how it's tippy? It's because this articulates, but it doesn't rotate. I'd have to put another pivot, and it would be a nightmare to get this to rotate probably. I'll see what I could do. I might be able to get this to rotate. I may not. The other thing I can do is, I wonder if this radio control shuts off. So one thought I had was putting on an auto shut off, so when this tells you it's full, it will send a shut off signal to the coal. I was also thinking of putting on like some sort of alarm so that I could hear it wherever I am. Okay, so this is the way to do this in the future is definitely use 2 or more. Have one up here loading. It kind of simulates, you know, let's say if you actually had friends and you are playing multiplayer and multiplayer could actually work. And my washing machine, it goes off for like 90 minutes playing the song of its people. If it would just be quiet, I'd appreciate that. And so, you know, let's say you had friends and you could have them do your bidding in this. And a multiplayer game could actually work smoothly. You could have multiple people loading this train, and that'd be great. But as you can imagine, you know, we're kind of doing it ourselves, so we're just simulating that. So me flying around is kind of that, you know, it's simulating if I had multiple people to do this. So farming sim with courseplay, if you've never played farming sim, courseplay was a mod that I wish I could remember who made it. But it's a great mod where you can essentially make autopilot tracks, and it will automatically do it. I've contemplated trying to set up an autopilot system with this. I think it might be more work than it's worth. Essentially what I would do is I would set the course and have these cars go up when they fill. If I can signal to shut off the coal filler. Oh, don't tip over, please. Yeah, so anyways, I need this to articulate left and right to be able to stop that tipping because, you know, articulating at higher speeds is going to cause tipping. So just a lot of, you know, I really enjoy the engineering aspect of this game, the building aspect. That's the main game for me. And so I like coming up with different designs and building stuff. So, you know, a lot of it I think I'm going to do off screen just because, you know, I want to get more into the gameplay in this. And then, you know, one thought I even had was to kind of build some of these components in their own videos and make playlists. And if you want to watch me build these videos, you can watch that. If you actually want to watch more of the gameplay, you can watch that. You know, you have to let me know in the comments what you prefer. That way, you know, kind of segregate the gameplay a little bit, and you can kind of decide what you want to watch and what you don't. All right, so this is good. This is going to be much more efficient. This is unloading while that's loading. That's going to save me some time. I really didn't waste too much money. You know, we're buying it so cheap. It's $1.50 a unit. You know, it was costing us some money dropping it, you know, wasting it, but it wasn't a ton. So, you know, it's not too bad. But this adds to our efficiency, is filling this up while the other one is filling. So that's good. This one we can leave alone. But this should work well. Hopefully we'll get this up and running. One thing I want to check here is I'm going to check how much we burned. Yeah, I think we start at like 728. We've been sitting here burning for 45 minutes, and say 40 minutes at the least, and so we have burned very little coal. So that's good. Yeah, that's really good. And so let me check. I kind of want to see how much electricity I used up on one run. Yeah, so I used about 25% electricity to go up and down. That's not bad, and especially with me having 2 cars now. This is going to go into the workbench as soon as this is empty. And the other one is, they should finish loading. This one should be finished before the other one stops loading because they both have one funnel. As soon as this is loaded, I'm going to head down and we'll fill up, finish filling the train car. Again, it takes 3 of these, so this should be the last one. It won't take us long to go to Komodo. Go to Komodo, and then I'm going to end the video there. I'm going to save it. Reason is, if I double stack those containers and it loads it in and it glitches, it's going to ruin it. So they should load, quote unquote, should load in fine. I may actually detach them so that they, when it loads in, it doesn't try to cause me problems. You know, then we'll start a Komodo the next video, and we will load 2 containers up for BVG, and then that will give us a full coal car, which will give us 100, I forget the number, what was it? I don't think it was 150,000. I remember the numbers well enough. Let me just kind of do a quick. Yeah, so about 105,000 cash for the coal. Because it sells for such a high price up at the Arctic. And then we're currently looking at 24,000, so let's say maybe 50. So that's 150,000. So this is actually a reasonably profitable way. It takes a lot of time, but doesn't seem like it's going to take a lot more time or any more time than me loading up oil. Oil is easier just because it's very easy for me to go AFK. There's less me being around. Sorry, I meant to mute my mic while I was drinking. I hope you didn't have to hear me slurp my drink. Alright, so this is almost full. I think it's just over 1,000, maybe 1025, something like that. I can't remember. And then that would make sense for its 3,000 something. Maybe 1250, I can't remember what it is, but this should be full soon. I think it's 1250, and then once this is full, I'll be able to recall these all into the bench, and then we can go to Komodo. So that'll be a nice little run. And then yeah, so I think that'll be good. Get a little money. That'll get us on the train for a little bit. The next video is going to be. Oh, there we go. It's 11:25. Okay, get out of there. And so the next video will be, I'm just going to do a quick save just because I'm afraid. And so the next video will be loading those 2 containers up, going up to the Arctic. So that'll be kind of, I think, a fun little test for the train. You know, still in the testing phase for this train. Yeah, see, so if I could articulate port starboard on this front axle. I just need one axle to articulate that it wouldn't pick that wheel up off the ground and cause a tip problem. So, you know, I'm going to work on a bunch of different vehicles for this mining operation. Just the tunnel is definitely the way to go. It's quicker. Yeah, I keep getting off on tangents, but the Mac-R is short enough. I might try to build a tractor version of that to get it in this tunnel. That would just increase the capacity. Oh my god. Shutting damage off for now. I just hit something. My drive-in is crap at the moment. I just don't want to spend all day repairing stuff. Yeah. So again, I recommend, you know, especially new players, if you're struggling, go into the XML. At some point, I'll do a tutorial video of how to edit the XMLs to get everything that you want done in the save file. I think that'll be useful. But you know, so you know, if you want that menu, add the menu. I recommend it. You know, like if you're struggling, you just keep getting damaged because of either a game bug or just like you want to drive fast or you just happen to drive too fast. You got a lead foot. You know, put that menu in. You know, shut off damage. You know, if you know, oh crap, I forgot to add electricity to this thing, and now my mission is destroyed. Well, you know, I had that where I couldn't unload the coal. Well, all I had to do was put on infinite electricity, and I can unload the coal instead of having to completely ruin hours of work. You know, and so that's what I recommend, is it makes it so that you're not, it's going to increase your enjoyment factor if you can have an emergency backup system that if something goes wrong, I can turn on emergency electricity. If I forget something, you know, infinite electricity is on, and I don't have to worry about ruining my whole save. All right, so this needs repairs. Jesus, I didn't hit it that hard. Damage seems a little bit ridiculous to me lately. What is it? Okay, it's showing repair torch right here, welding torch. I wish I could just write torch. It won't. It's not taking torch when I write torch. You know, so like I just shut off damage there because I was just getting sick of it. Yeah, I need to do a lot of repairs here to get this up and running again. Okay, yeah, see, like that was doing my tip door, and then I don't know how much is destroyed here. So like, you know, the ability to do that, if we were out in the middle of nowhere, I could fast travel, I could go get a torch. If not, you completely ruined hours of gameplay. You know, just recommend turning on that menu. That really lets you kind of, yeah. Oh, I had already put in a number for the raise. I was like, why is that going up? And it's because I had already put in the number. So as soon as it repaired, it went ahead and did what I commanded it to do. So it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. Okay, so let me make sure this is all good. Should be good. I just want to make sure the funnel's functional here. Yeah, it seemed like they buffed damage or something. You know, things that were not damaging, like areas of the road that were not damaging me before, seem to be damaging me now. So it's not the end of the world, but you know, it is frustrating at times if you're just damaging everything. Okay, so we're there. Let's hit 6. Let me fly again. Time saver to just get up there and make sure this is unloading. Okay, so this is our last load. Do one quick pick here of loading up here. Okay, so that's going. Let's grab this one here, put this one away, and then once this is full, I'm ready for a run to Komodo. And all we're doing is parking it at Komodo. And then in the next episode, I will load up containers, two more BVGs, and then we should be hopefully ready to rock and roll and go to the Arctic. I use these words like hope and should because I've seen this video too many times of plans changing. All right. And so I'm going to disengage the top couples here, or the one on this one. And then when I get there, I'm going to actually disconnect these because when I load it in, I don't want them trying to snap violently. So that's something I'm going to do. But we're getting close here. This is, what is it, 1125 times 3, so 3375. So 3375, I think, is the full capacity of this. So we're getting close. Let me do a quick walkthrough. I didn't show everybody what some of the stuff I worked on this. So I went through and I changed out the pivot systems on everything. So instead of pivots, they have these pistons or these suspensions. And as you can see, now that it's much more mechanical, and it just kind of it puts itself back. It deadens it a little bit. These are mostly for RP and looks. Let me look inside what else I did. So I added an anti-slip system. So as soon as the wheels slip, it should automatically reduce my set speed a little bit. I'm trying to think what else I did. Am I making my power generations down? I need to work on this generator a little bit. Yeah, I need to work on the generator a little bit. But it's not bad right now, but it needs a little bit of work. So I added a lot more of these motors. These are all driving it now. I also geared them. It keeps our max speed more in tune. I also lowered this large motor down. Just some of the stuff, you know, I did work on to get that going. In here, I added my Arctic suit and a heater, just manual turn on. So that's pretty simple. Just some of the things I've done with this off screen to get this up and running. So I need to also make sure I have something that can tip high enough that I can tip into and feed this. So eventually I'll make a larger one where it will reach up here. I think my big one for the tractor might reach up there so that I can reload and fill the fill my actual my locomotive with coal for fuel. All right, so we're getting there. We're within 500 of the yeah, we're what was that? That's 2. No, we're yeah, we're within 500. I was right. Did the math right the first time. Just did it quickly. We're within 500 of being full. So, you know, these types of missions, definitely planning helps. I could have planned a little bit better using 2 off the bat. That would have accelerated us a little bit. But like, you know, I was saying, flying around, loading the containers while this was filling was a good idea just to get us going. So, you know, learning lessons here. You know, so I want to kind of, if I can get a, if I can get those side tips going, hopefully that would allow me to get in the mine and get more of these, you know, get more fill volume in there. If I can get more fill volume, that would be kind of nice, so that hopefully cut down the number of trips. But we'll see. You know, I was also talking about, you know, maybe trying to do an autopilot for this, which I don't know if that's going to work or not. So essentially the way that would work is set the waypoints and have the car travel its own way up there. And then when it comes down here, it would just stop. And then I would have to manually back it up to fill it, because the position of the train will fill, the cars will change. But it's a thought. I may or may not do it. The other thing I was thinking is of adding, you know, some sort of filling system and having a dumping system. I was also thinking of doing I would like to build a dock crane, kind of a movable crane at some point, a truck crane. And so one thing I was thinking of actually is you would have a coal module that would go on a trailer, kind of a mining trailer. And then it would detach, and you pick it up with the crane, and the crane dangles over the car. And it would have, like, say, 4 funnels underneath, and so that would dump into the car, and because it has 4 funnels, it would take a quarter of the time. And then you could load the empty one on there, and so as this is empty and the truck goes back up, it fills the next one. Then by the time this one's empty, the truck comes back, it loads it on, and then it pulls the full one and then dumps again. So it really would streamline this. So again, planning and having the right tools for the job will help accelerate this and make it more efficient. Just like IRL, you know, with, you know, real engineering is, you know, the more quickly you can get things to operate, the more profit you're going to do. And so works like this in game as well. So bunch of ideas how to streamline this. So this is still, I would definitely say, in the testing phase, but it's working at the moment, and so I'm happy with that. So hopefully This should fill up soon. What was the number I quoted? 375. So we're almost there. We have 25 units left. As soon as this is filled, I'm going to dump off. I'm going to put that mining car back in the workbench, and we're going to save because it will happen. If it can happen, it will happen. Murphy's Law of Stormworks. Something bad will happen. I'm going to leave damage off just because I can't be bothered at this moment. If I lose everything, I'm going to just be so upset. And so let's do a save here to not tempt the fates. Okay, and what is the weather doing? Override time is off. Override weather is off. Okay, so we have we're back to real-time weather. Let's get out of here. All right. We just saved. I'm gonna roll up to Komodo, and then we'll end the video there. And the next one will be all set to go. We'll have this there and moving. So we are wheel squeal. That's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, because I don't think I hooked it up. So shocker that I forgot to hook a node. But anyways, I set up a system, so that'll have to be repaired at some point. I'll put it in my notes. So essentially what it should do is when it detects wheel slip like that, it should automatically reduce my set speed until the wheel slip goes away. So it's essentially an auto wheel slip protection. And so I think at some point I'll further complicate the system to make it so that it automatically kind of modulates it to keep it going back to where you want it. The PID number could be cut a little bit. It overshoots. I can hear it overshooting. When it goes ooh ooh ooh, that's the P value is too high, and so it's going past where it needs to. Then it's coming back down. So I can't recall because like I said, I did like 8 videos on this train building it, and then when I rebuilt it, or the systems at least, after I made the coal piston tutorial, I made another set of videos. So I'm not sure what I've talked about, what I've done or not. I did some off screen. So one thing is this. So the way this works is this is my set speed. So I set the speed I want. So I'm setting 16 meters per second. I can either do that with here, as you can see, or I can do it with the WS keys. And then this is telling me what my current speed is. So I've set 16.9, and now as you can see, it's trying to match it. So the PID's automatically doing that. Now there's a delta in there. So if it realizes that if it realizes I'm going too fast, it will automatically add brakes. And so that will add brakes to the cars behind me. It will also add brakes to this, and the motor will also go in reverse, like in real life. So all these things are somewhat realistic. And so this makes it a nice automated system where I can set the speed I want, and the train will just do it. And so that's nice and simple. So we're not screaming along, but it's not a bad speed. This is over 40 miles an hour right now. It looks pretty slow, but we're going over 40 miles an hour. That would take us, just to get to Komodo with a truck with coal, that would take us 2 trips. And we could probably do 60 something. We could probably go a little faster in the truck until I have this system figured a little bit better. Oh, wow. My electric's very low. Let me throw in infinite electricity. I'm having issues with my power generation. That's going to dog me. I have to fix that. So I'm having some issues with this loco I need to work on. But again, actually operating a vehicle in career is going to... actually operating a vehicle in career is how you're going to figure out a lot of the stuff you need to do to your vehicles. It's real-world testing is where you're going to find most of your problems. And so again, had a problem here where I was... let me take off infinite electricity. So there are some issues I'm having. You see I'm not making enough electricity. I kind of know, I think I know what that is, so I'll fix that. So what I might do too is, since I'm going to save this and I'm going to stop in Komodo, what I might do is I will recall the loco maybe, fix up do a couple of fixes and then do that, or I might just head up to the Arctic. We'll see. If I have to run infinite electricity up to the Arctic, that's fine. I'm not worried about it. But I'm trying to get us up to max speed here. You know, I want to, this is still the testing phase. Once I have this, you know, once we can do trips up to the Arctic and everything works, we know we're there. That's one reason I don't want to do a ton of decorating in here yet. This kind of looks very bare in here. Is I want this working before I go spend a ton of time doing interior design. So, so you can see I'm just slowly doing this. If I had actually remembered to connect the node for the anti-slip, whenever it gets a slip indication, it would automatically reduce this number here until the slip stops, and then you'd manually up it again. So that would essentially you're adding throttle too fast essentially, and so it's spinning up the wheels. But we're getting there. Probably add a headset or something to the seat so it's not so loud. There's just a ton of electric motors back there. I think, let me count. We're in a train, we can walk back. Yeah, so this was at a consistent 1400 output. It's not there anymore. I need to probably constrict water flow, I'm thinking. That's an issue. So I think that's something I'm gonna do. So I have 8 medium motors and then 1 large. So I'm gonna do this. It's gonna squeal again, which is fine. I'm gonna keep infinite electricity on until I get this loco fixed. Let's do that. So this will automatically do what I'm doing now. See how I reduced the set speed until the squeal went away? When I actually remember to connect the node, that will automatically do that for me and reduce the, essentially reduce my thrust until the wheel slip goes away. Yeah. So I just thought I might be able to, so essentially, I'm trying to think how to set this up. So I essentially want it to, so let's say I set my desired speed to 20 meters per second, okay? When it gets wheel slip, it's going to automatically reduce that number. I want it so that so I'm going to have to double up the up-down counter. So essentially what I'll do is I will set my speed to 20. That will then feed into another up-down counter. So if current speed is less than set speed, it will add to it. It'll go the plus number on the next up-down counter. If set speed is less than current speed, it will go to the down node on the up-down counter on the second one. So that's how you'll set that up. Then, if slip is detected, it's going to work on the second up-down counter. When slip goes away, it will automatically allow us to add it again. So what that will allow me to do is, doing it that way will allow me to set 20. Let's say it slips at 10, it will automatically go down. As soon as the slip stops, it will start trying to go back up to 20 again. Slips, okay, it stops at 15, slip's gone, okay, it starts going back up. Okay, let's say 19 slips, it will automatically stop. Okay, slip stop, now it goes back up to 20. So by doing it with 2 up-down counters, I should be able to get this set up where I don't have to modulate it, because currently the way the system is supposed to work now, if it slips, it will automatically reduce my thrust, but then I manually have to walk it up like I'm doing here. So this will automate that system a little bit. Yeah, this will automate that system so that I don't get wheel slip. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're, it seems like we're going slow. We're not, we're not doing bad. We're doing about 40 miles an hour here, which is a reasonable speed. You know, I'm not that great with trains yet. I just started. This is my first train, so I have to play around with trying to get things like wheel slip tackled. I really cut down the top speed because I was trying to get the wheel slip down by adding, you know, from the train community that I've talked to, they said you need to essentially increase your torque and decrease your RPS essentially to reduce wheel slip. So that makes sense to me. It also helps to haul heavier loads, and so that makes sense, and so that's something that I'm going to work on here. Let me get a pick here. Remember the right keys would be nice. All right, so coming along here. So this is a good bit of profit. This is about 200 grand. No, it isn't. We're talking, when we finally get this done, we're looking at in the neighborhood of about 150 grand for a run up to the Arctic. Not great, not terrible. So the reason I need money is what I want to do is I want to get the home ship in. So the plan is I don't want to do exclusively money because I want to get into some rescues and diversify gameplay a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to get a little bit of money, enough so that I can launch my tanker. When I can launch my tanker, I can very easily make a ton of money. And then that starts getting me into where I can start thinking about if I want to start working on the home ship. The home ship's like 360,000 presently to spawn, and it's only getting more expensive. So, you know, I need to get some cash, money, dollar bills, to be able to do some of the things that I want to do. So that's on the docket. Alright, so this is really a nice system because I can set this, let's say I want to go down to 4.72 meters per second. It will automatically match it. So let's say, okay, I want to go in nice and slowly in here. Let's go 2.6. And so it's automatically modulating. Here it goes on, off, on, off. That's just a p-value is a little bit too high. Then I can creep. One of the reasons I set up this system is see I can creep. We're going 0.76 meters per second now, so I can really get this nice and specialized and slow. Okay, so here we are. We're here. I'm going to set this up so that hopefully we can just fill this the next episode. So what I'm going to try to do, let me see. I want to get these containers set up that there's very little possibility they cause me massive amounts of headache. And so see if I can get to the connector. Probably not. It's not the end of the world if I can't, because I have connectors. They should be on this side. Yeah, right here. So I have toggles. See my toggles? Okay, so now they're toggled off. So those containers are not connected to anything. So hopefully when I reload the save, they will not try to connect to one another. That should save me some headache. So let's go ahead and I'm going to save this. We'll save it there. And so this will be ready to go next episode. Really quick, we'll see what we have for BVGs. See, this place looks populated. The other one didn't have many containers, which I don't know why. It might have been just a bunch expired at the same time. So there's a 33. So this one's more this one's actually more where it should be, I think. I didn't check the remaining time on those first two. So that's 33. Transport one cop, huh? I haven't seen that one before. He can get it. He can find his own way. So there's 33. There's a 19. Okay, so there's a 30. So there's another 60 grand on top. So that's even better. Yeah. So we just had some low value ones at Spy Cakes. So that's good. So we have good money here for going up. So that's even more than I thought. That's a good 36,000 more cash than I thought I was going to have. So I think we're going to leave it there. I've yet to ask anyone to do this yet, but you know, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed and you're enjoying my content, please subscribe. All right, we'll see you in the next one.